Welcome back!
Yay!
Okay, we're gonna get...
Jumping.
The viewpoint we got at the end of the last episode only gave us a fucking informant, like, 3-minute timed stupid thing to do. We're not... I am no good at those, because it requires me to concentrate way more than I can if I'm also, like, recording and talking and doing this shit.
So,
So, we're gonna get another viewpoint or two, so we can fucking actually get an investigation we can actually pull off. Fuck ya!
We started our Johnny Depp talk very late in the last episode, so I want to continue it. Talking about Johnny Depp.
You want to keep talking about Johnny Depp?
I mean...
Johnny Dirt?
Edward Scissorhands, that was a movie.
Yeah. Let's eating Gilbert Grape.
I think Edward Scissorhands is what started him on the Tim Burton train, wasn't it?
Kind of.
On a Burton bus, if you want to get alliteration with it. I think...
What the
wasn't,
fuck?
like Betty and June, wasn't that like his first big role?
Benny and June was one of his first was one of his...
Where
No, it wasn't at all.
He played neither Benny nor June.
What the fuck?
Was Gilbert Grape before Benny and June?
I think so. What's Eating Gilbert Grape was a good movie.
Like, whoa! God? Was that God? Was that God?
Yeah.
I
Fuck
think,
you!
Like, What's Eating Gilbert Grape and Edward Scissorhands are what kind of...
God damn it!
Are like what launched his career, really. Pirates of the Caribbean, though, is what made him like a household name.
Edward Scissorhands really put him on the map. Because he did a lot of other stuff. He was in that one, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Crybaby, the Secret Window or whatever it was.
You know what? Okay, let's segue from Johnny Depp into Tim Burton. You know what Tim Burton movie I like that's really, like, not really ever talked about? James and the Giant Peach.
Was actually really good. I liked James and the Giant Peach.
Honestly, as far as I'm concerned, that's his only good movie. Controversial statement, I know. I'm not wild about Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh my god!
I know, it's very controversial. I'm not particularly wild about Nightmare Before Christmas.
You know what? I'm okay with Nightmare Before Christmas, but I'm not obsessed with it like everybody else on the fucking planet is. Like, everybody is so obsessed with Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like, it's the greatest fucking movie. I'm gonna have all kinds of fucking shit, and it's like, so fucking Nightmare Before Christmas is a masterpiece. No, it's not a masterpiece.
I like the songs.
I will not say in any way, shape, or form that Nightmare Before Christmas is a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie.
I will not say that.
I'm not wild about it.
Yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas is not a bad movie. I do not dislike Nightmare Before Christmas. I just don't... It's not one of my favorite movies. I don't see why it's such a big deal.
I understand why.
Because, like, the claymation, like, way it was, like, the stop motion...
No, it's because seeing kids want to have something to talk about to each other.
Oh.
Oh.
The soundtrack was good.
I like the songs.
I will say I will say Nightmare Before Christmas has an excellent soundtrack.
I liked the songs. Nightmare Revisited has the only Flyleaf song I'll voluntarily listen to.
I'm okay with Flyleaf. There's a couple Flyleaf songs I'll listen to.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of that, speaking of like us embracing music, we've warmed up slightly to Paramore.
Oh, with that last song, that single, Ain't It Fun? Yeah.
Because neither of us were
neither one of us ever really liked Paramore.
Well, to begin with, we could only ever name one song, and that was Misery Business.
Yeah, and that song annoys me to no end.
We both dislike it for different reasons. I'm not going to get into mine.
Yeah.
Because I'll get salty.
You'll get salty.
It'll be like an Iggy Azalea and Jennifer Lopez level rage again.
Yeah.
I can't. My blood pressure. I can't do that. I'll have a heart attack on episode.
But yeah, I never liked Paramore. Like, I couldn't stand Paramore. And it's like that song that they released last
on,
year.
Like, multiple top 10 lists.
Yeah, and then we were like, what the hell is this song? Paramore put out a song that people are putting in their top 10 in reviews? What?
And we listened to it, and we liked it.
It was actually good. Like, Paramore actually made a good song. I was amazed. I was like, what?
It was very nice.
I don't want to, like, punch babies after listening to Paramore? What world is this?
You know what? The same thing kind of happened with Maroon 5 in their last song.
Yeah, well, I liked Maroon 5. I liked songs about Jane.
There are 2 Maroon 5 songs I like.
I liked when they started. I liked when they were a rock band, and then they got too poppy. It's like, that's not... You guys
Adam
don't...
Levine
Yeah, it became the Adam Levine show. And it's like, you guys... That's not you guys' kind of music. You guys had it right the first time.
And then we listened to
You guys should have stuck with what you were good at.
And, like, sure, it wasn't the best song, technically, on, like, at a technical level.
But it's kind of...
Song,
but it's kind of Maroon 5 kind of
good.
being a pop rock band again.
Yeah.
Playing instruments and making music and being a band.
It was like, I liked it.
We acquired a map showing the position of the execution plaza.
That's dark.
This is Assassin's Creed. This isn't lighthearted, whimsical fun in the sun.
This isn't Skyward Sword.
Yeah, this isn't like bright, cheery colors and...
To be fair,
let's
Skyward
fly
Sword,
around on a bird and...
To be fair, Skyward Sword had some dark moments.
A lot of Zelda games actually have some adult stuff.
Wait till we get to Majora. And you do
like,
that.
Zelda, the Legend of Zelda series is not necessarily like a little kid's series. Like, it does...
When we get to Zelda, when we get to Majora's Mask,
it does have
if
some,
you
like,
do
adult
any
themes.
of the side quests, I ask that you do the Keiki one. Because it is one of the best examples of storytelling in video games I have ever seen.
Or even look at, like, Twilight Princess, too.
Twilight Princess is the dark...
Twilight Princess is one of the darkest Zelda games.
Isn't that considered the darkest Zelda game?
Yes, and not just visually. Like,
a lot of
in
the stuff
tone.
you deal with in
like,
that game.
just the tone while you're playing it is very, like, wow, like, heavy. It's like, it's a heavy game. Twilight Princess is a very heavy game. Whereas this game in this series would be, like, the least lighthearted in the series. But, like we were saying in a previous episode, once you get around to, like, Ezio...
It becomes very, like...
Okay, you fuckers, I don't need you on either side of me with your bullshit. I will fucking murder you. I don't give a shit.
Anyway.
I will murder you in your fucking stupid face.
Anyway.
I will knock that lady over and I don't care. I don't feel guilty. She's a bitch. She was in my way. I'll kick your ass too.
And it's weird. I think dark storytelling. I can appreciate a good, dark story. I can appreciate it. I like them. They're good. They're entertaining. I like them. I like a good, like a dark, dramatic story. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
I love them. So there's some
if they're
nice
done well.
Stories. And but the thing is, in recent years,
every game has become that.
Every game, every movie, every anime.
Yeah, we've like hit like this really
dark
serious,
and, like,
dark, depressing. That's why I'm still a big fan of Nintendo.
And you get like your nice, like your lighthearted.
You get like your Kirby's and your Marios.
So happy, and it's like bright pastel colors, and it's like, yes, I need this.
Yeah,
and this I'm still
like a big fan of Nintendo because of that.
I'm gonna talk about the inner workings of a Matsu for a moment. Anime has always been like a big part of my life.
Always.
You can tell if you watch these videos. It's a big part of my life, and I love it.
Death.
But I've noticed in recent years, especially like this last year, ever since.
What the fuck?
Honest, I'm gonna bring up Anime Expo again because it's like one of my go-tos for things. Really, ever since Anime Expo, I viewed anime less and less of a thing that I want to do for fun because I derive entertainment out of it. It has become recently a thing that I do because it's a thing that I've always done. And I noticed this because I noticed there's only like 4 actual shows at this point. There's the show where the guy is the roommate with the girl, and it's usually it's like magic happens. Really, it's like a magic show. It's like a shonen-ish show. Yeah. And there's a lot of service, and it's like very soft shaded, and it's like I've seen this exact show 17 times. Or you have like your slice of life school comedy with 3 girls, and they all have a stupid hair color, and they wear short skirts, and they have like the same uniform but a slightly different color. Or you have like, and then you have like your really dark show that's like edgy and hardcore.
Just blood everywhere, and everybody's getting the shit beaten out of them, and blood and gore, and it's like, yeah, like shock value show.
And then you have like your remake of a show from years and years ago.
Or you also have like your you have your team of superpowered people that have to save the Earth.
That's
Honestly, but there's a
hate
lot of those shows. That's like,
and it's weird.
There's that's your DBZ, that's your Bleach, that's your Inuyasha.
Yeah.
That's your Naruto. That's all
your
of those.
everything. That's your shonen anime. And it's weird because I rag on One Piece a lot. It's like my
That's
go-to
One Piece
anime.
too, yeah.
One Piece is my go-to anime for making fun of.
It is.
And I feel like I'm justified because I've been watching One Piece for over half of my life. I have been watching One Piece for more of my life than I haven't been watching One Piece. And I always go to it and I talk about how I don't like it anymore, and like it's not as good as it used to be, and like it climaxed at episode 200, and it just went steadily downhill. I have found that One Piece, at this moment in time, is the anime that I derive the most, like, pleasure from watching. Like, I'll sit down and watch anime, and I'll watch One Piece, and I'll get to the end of it, and I'll be like, I feel good about this. I enjoyed that. But
like, it's the one you riff on the most, but it's the one that entertains you the most.
It is like the one show that I have liked the same amount from episode 1 to episode 680 some odd.
Whatever they're on right now. I'll actually kind of say the same thing for me with things like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Like, I make fun of that shit constantly. I fucking riff on Dragon Ball Z all the time, but it's like, I grew up watching that. Like, that was yeah, what was on. Like, that was like Toonami and shit when I was in like middle school and high school. It was like, and like, that was back when like they were first running it in the U.S. Like, that was when they first when they were first dubbing it in the U.S. for TV, and like back when like Funimation was doing it.
Yeah.
And so it was like a new thing to audiences here, at least like television audiences. But I do it. I'll still catch it. Like, they have like DBZ Kai.
Yeah.
And I'll like sit because they show it on like Toonami, or they show it on like they were showing it when Saturday morning cartoons still existed.
Yeah.
They were showing it on the CW on Saturday mornings. And I'd fucking, if it was on, I'd sit and watch it. It's like, you know, there's a lot of things to make fun of, but it's one of those things. It's like, I still like this.
To continue my thing, though, about One Piece, I watch it, and I feel good. I feel good when I watch it. I feel good after I watch it. I feel pleasure. I'll watch, like, I'm going to pull Tokyo Ghoul, because it's a relevant show at this point in time, and it's a show I watch. And it's one of the few shows I'm bothering to remain current on at this point. I'll watch it. And I'll like it while I'm watching the episode. It's like very spectacular in the literal definition of spectacular. It is a spectacle. There's a lot of like blood and gore, and it's
very
like,
visually interesting.
It's violent, and it's dark, and it's gritty, and it's visually like interesting to me.
It's very stylized.
It's very stylized in both story and art. And I'll watch it, and during the episode I'll be like, yes, this is a good anime. More anime should be like this. Why aren't more shows being like this? Why are we getting all these shows that are like K-On! And and trying to redo DBZ? Why aren't we getting more shows like this that are telling stories in different ways? And then, like, you know, I'll watch it, and then maybe like half an hour afterwards I'll be like, why am I still watching this?
You like sit and reflect on it for a bit?
I do. Like, after I stew on it, I'm like,
I'm climbing the synagogue.
It's kind of like I kind of stop remembering what even happened in the episode. Because that's kind of a problem with telling stories in different ways. I'm kind of doing the thing where I'm an English major. I forgot I am one of those. I'm having like an intellectual conversation with myself on this show.
Go for it.
With like telling stories in like alternative, interesting new ways, is that it's hard to remember them and make them memorable, because as an audience, we're used to stories being told in beginning, middle, end.
First act, second act,
rising action, climax, falling action. We're used to that. That's how stories have always been presented since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
But when you tell stories in like new and interesting ways, like, okay, it's cool at the moment. It's very interesting at the time. And you have like these stylized shows with these stylized tones, and you're like, you try to be really subtle with it, and you like make it really interesting and visually like stimulating, mentally stimulating. They're impressive very fleetingly. And then they're gone.
Because they don't follow that construct that makes it easy for you to remember it.
That's why I have very mixed feelings towards Death Note. I liked Death Note. As a show, I liked it. A lot of people like Death Note. A lot of people claim Death Note is one of the, if not the greatest animes ever made. And honestly, I've looked back on it, because I feel like I can say these things with some degree of authority, because I've been watching anime a long time in my life. I think Death Note is really the first time, in a mainstream sense, that we got that alternative storytelling. It was an anime, but it wasn't like an action show. A lot of the show was people talking. But you'll ask someone, well, what do you remember about Death Note? Oh, that scene where L punched Light. Okay, well, like, do you remember, like, any of the, like, if there are any, like, quotes that you have from Death Note that, like, really stood out to you? Or, like, anything like that? Like, oh, the scene where Light eats the potato chip. That was funny. Like, no, do you have, like, a... Okay. A big example of this, alternative storytelling and gritty dark gone wrong, in a recent anime, is Akame ga Kill. Rather. A lot of people hyped it up. I had a friend who followed the production of this show for, like, over a year. He followed the production of this show. He was convinced it was going to be the anime that was going to change modern action anime.
Yeah.
He was convinced that he was sure of this. He would go on and, like, tell me about this, like, all the developments with this show that he was keeping, like, such a firm eye on. And it came out. And I watched it. I liked it. It was good. It was a decent shonen anime. It had a, you know, darker plot. For, not the darkest of plots, but, you know, for a shonen anime, it had a darker plot.
Yeah.
It had violence, enough to the point where there was a censored and an uncensored version of it. But I'm sitting here and I'm thinking back on it. After, and this is like a couple months after the finale. More than a couple. It's a few months after the finale. And I sit back and I think about it like, well, what did it really do different than other shonen shows other than it's a bit more violent? And even a bit, that's kind of a stretch if you look at older shows like Hellsing is a big example. That show was incredibly violent when it came out. That show came out in the 90s. And at the time, it was regarded as like one of the goriest animes that wasn't a movie.
Yeah, because there wasn't really a lot of anime here yet. Other than, like, you know, the shit that people don't even remember as anime. Like yeah, like, or, like, even, like, fucking Speed Racer, Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon, yeah. And it's weird. I find it very strange that what anime is becoming. And I don't want to say I dislike it. But at the same time, I cannot, with a good conscience, say I like what anime is now the same amount or better than I did when I was younger and I was first getting in it. And it might be that I've gotten older and I have other interests now and it's not the same as it was when I was, you know, in elementary school and I first found this show called Cardcaptor Sakura.
Oh yeah, I remember that show.
That was the first anime I ever watched subbed, was Cardcaptor Sakura. I watched it from episode 1 to the last episode, completely subtitled. And it changed how I viewed, like, entertainment and storytelling as a medium. Like, it opened up my eyes. It was the first time I viewed entertainment from a culture that wasn't American, like, kids' cartoons.
Yeah.
And it changed how I think. And I think it still does. I think I think, honestly, Cardcaptor Sakura has had the biggest impact on how I think and I view the world. Because of the fact that it was the first thing I watched that was, like, it was so radically different and it jarred me in a way.
Yeah.
We have gone on very long in this episode.
But it gave me time to get all the investigations done.
And we learned a lot.
We got a little insight about you, which is good.
We learned a lot about Matsu.
We don't usually get a lot of.
You didn't even.
We usually don't get a lot of insight about you on this show. Like you're like the enigma of the channel.
I learned a lot of how I feel about things and how I view the world. However, do we have all our?
We do. We're ready. We are ready to do this.
Next time
shit,
we're gonna
man.
kill a guy.
Like I got it done.
We're gonna kill a guy next time.
We're gonna kill a guy. We're gonna do the last assassination
of the second act. It's gonna be a lot more lighthearted of an episode.
Oh,
I'll make fart noises.
Well, I'm gonna probably be killing a bunch of people, so that's always fun.
I'll make poop jokes.
Haha.
See you next time.
Like, comment, subscribe, and stay nerdy.